Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. So, what I wanted to share with all of you today is that the twin flame journey is really about breaking free from the matrix because it's a spiritual awakening journey. And what does it even mean to spiritually awaken? It means to leave behind that where we give our power away outside of us. So, one aspect of the journey is our personal responsibility in our lives. And it's very hard for us to hold full personal responsibility for what we are experiencing in our lives because the narrative of blaming others has been reinforced over and over. It's actually a very key narrative of the ego, which doesn't want to take responsibility. So it naturally wants to cede power to something else. Okay. The moment I take responsibility for my experience, for my life, for how I'm perceiving things to be, for how I'm feeling and all of that, for what I'm creating, the ego starts to dissolve in a sense where the ego stops giving authority to other people, to other situations, to outside reality to define your personal experience. A second part of this is like what ends up happening with personal responsibility is that sometimes it starts bordering on controlling others or controlling situations too much. So we feel like if I feel I am responsible, it doesn't mean that I have to carry the world on my shoulders, or I don't have to, you know, control everything around me. I don't have to micromanage everything. But it is a certain subtle balance of personal responsibility along with allowing things to have their natural flow and natural rhythm. Seeing everybody as powerful and responsible, just the way you are powerful and responsible, you see everyone as equally powerful and responsible, and the higher flow of the universe anyway moving all of us in the direction in which we need to move into. So with that kind of an awareness, personal responsibility comes to us. So, the path of breaking free from the matrix is hard because we are very used to giving our power away. When we are children, we give our, power of how we will feel, to how we will be. Our behavior adapts to our families. In dysfunctional families, we have very dysfunctional adaptations. Like we have defense mechanisms, that come into play, like freezing, fawning, and all of that. We lose our individuality. Then we go through the schooling systems where this further gets reinforced. Basically, society constantly keeps conditioning us. Then we go to colleges, where again we have another set of beliefs that we develop. Then in jobs, we develop other sets of beliefs. Then in maybe relationships or marriages or with having children, and more we keep belonging to society through the internet, through social media. We keep adopting all these collective belief systems that are not our own. We literally have a herd mentality. So if someone else is thinking like this, so we all start thinking like this. What would have been very wrong 20 years ago, if today most of society thinks it is correct and it is all right, has become correct and all right. So this is how violence becomes normalized in certain societies, because if many societies think that it was okay to kill a certain person because this person had a certain opinion which was different from my opinion, so then everyone starts to believe it. I think we saw that with in the US with a certain political event that took place, I suppose last year, where one man who was very open about his political belief systems was killed, and many people celebrated it on the opposite side. And it was normalized and it was seen to be a wonderful thing, and people called out for more and more such people to be taken down. So you see, many years ago, killing would have been seen to be a bad thing, but then people start increasingly believing that if many others around me are supporting it, so then it doesn't require for me to criticize it. So even something as brutal as this type of fatal violence becomes normalized. So society has a herd mentality. Because we are awakening spiritually, we can't subscribe to a herd mentality. You will not have a herd mentality, even if you have political opinions and political, you know, um, differences or whatever else. That's perfectly normal and human to have. But the point is that you must still think for yourself. Your opinion and your belief system, your faith, it must be arrived at individually. It should not be because my family is like this, so I believe this. Oh, I'm a Hindu or I'm a Christian, so I believe this, or I'm a Muslim, so I believe that. It doesn't have to be that way. We are on a spiritual awakening path. We have to find our own truths, which have to go beyond institutionalized religions, governments, legal systems, many other rules and laws and such things. It's a very difficult journey to make because these systems want to recapture us. So what I experienced in my awakening, we've all got to be very careful and aware of this, is like we exit one system and then we get trapped in the next system. So suppose, say you have the habit of going to a therapist, okay, and maybe you saw this therapist and then you stopped going to this one. So inevitably you will notice now you will go to another therapist or you'll go to another coach repeatedly over and over. Okay, then that doesn't work, then you'll find a third one, then you'll find a fourth one. Okay, then if nothing works, you'll find ChatGPT or some other AI tool. Okay, and then if that doesn't work, you'll find something else. You'll sneakily keep looking for systems that you need to depend on to verify your experiences or to give you that external validation that you deeply desire. So become aware of this. I'm not saying you need to fix it right now, you don't need to go to anybody, no, but just be aware of it. As we are holding awareness to what we are doing, that's it. That's all. The awareness can do the work itself, right? Then we will only use these systems like a therapist or a coach or ChatGPT or even a YouTube video. Even this, I'm fully aware of this video or whatever else, or all of that. We must only opt in for that when we are aware. Okay, not out of compulsiveness and not out of giving our authority away. Basically, your awakening is asking you, when will you take your power back? At what point will you decide that now it is my inner guidance that I am going to be guided by rather than what someone else said, right? And look at these systems of control, because we have been controlled, and we have this ego which is constantly looking to give its power away to someone else. How it does that is it pedestalizes people. Even among the twin flame communities, very easy to pedestalize some twin flame teachers or some self-proclaimed twin flame gurus or something else, when their only ego knows authority. The soul, the one soul that we are all a part of, the one divine consciousness, it knows no authority, it knows no pedestalization. Okay, and similarly, even looking down upon somebody can be very difficult and very disorienting, because when we do that, we are we are being judgmental, in the sense that we are robbing that person of their own individual authority and power that they hold, right? People may be making certain choices, but we have to bring in a certain acceptance for their choices, and at the same time respect their free will to go in the direction in which they are going. We can't be overcorrecting others. The work that I do with my clients, I'm always striving to have a sense of helping them develop a communication with themselves, like to come into their inner sovereignty. Whether it's working with shadows that helps us do it, or it's through intuitive guidance that always helps us guide us back to ourselves. The highest thing that we can experience in our life will not be able to be translated into words. And that is the highest thing we need to move towards. Okay. So even when you go to a coach or a therapist or anyone, including me, it's never about giving your power to somebody. Those words, very often we twin flame people who make content on twin flames, including me, we must give this, disclaimer that views are personal. Okay. And you have the right to formulate your own views based on your experiences, because you have your own unique code of existence, your own unique journey. So in this spiritual community, very often people, they are leaving the matrix and then they're falling into some kind of a spiritual cult, right? Because in essence, the wound that remains unhealed, that leads to people joining communities or cults and giving their power away to certain teachers only. And you listen to the teachers, including me, but you must always keep the wisdom of your heart open, and you must start tuning into that wisdom of your heart, the wisdom of your soul, the wisdom of your higher self within. Your own personal GPS must be on at all times, and there should be nothing above that personal GPS for you at all points of times in your journey. This is what this spiritual awakening really means. It's not just in spiritual communities, but in our day-to-day life, where we give our power away. We may be giving our power away to jobs, for instance. We think that, oh, we are in some very abusive job system or some very abusive living situation, like maybe with a family or something else, and we think that we can't get out of this because my safety and security depends on me tolerating this abuse. Then there's a very core belief here which believes that the coexistence of safety, it has to happen with a certain level of abuse. That's not correct at all. A certain shadow is present which is making you, co-opt into giving your power away in exchange for simple basic needs being met. Whereas, because you're going through a spiritual awakening, these rules don't apply to you. Okay, maybe a huge overhaul needs to happen about your belief systems, about even money, your independence, your living situations, the basic freedom, the basic life that you are living. You deserve a life of joy and pleasantness, and all of us do, all humans do, all of life does, right? But the one who is spiritually awakening is the one who can clearly claim it and see it and want it, because spiritual awakening is just moving from the unconscious autopilot mode to living a conscious life. So living a conscious life means that I'm becoming more and more aware of how I am creating my reality, and from what space within me am I creating this reality. And then it also goes back to taking personal responsibility for our situations, which sometimes our ego will not allow us to do, because it is easier for the ego to perpetuate blame and all of that, and to stay in a victim consciousness, because that identity of being a victim can be very strong, that we want to protect. So yeah, keep using your discretion, keep seeing that spiritual communities, even twin flame communities, they should not have a power imbalance. Any wisdom shared by anybody, it must be the wisdom that you know in your heart to be true. You must test it out and really feel it, and you must be willing to revise it also. You must be willing to be flexible about that wisdom, because more experiences can come, and revisions in your wisdom can take place. This is the spiritual journey, is literally walking in the dark, where you can only see the next step. So as you walk, more and more awareness keeps coming in, and more of that updation needs to happen, like that software update, right? So the core need that leads us to give our power away is very often belonging. We are very often feeling like, I didn't belong to my family, so I will adopt a spiritual family that I want to belong to. And sometimes it can also, bleed into seeking our origins in star seeds, where it's perfectly good to realize that we were born and we had our early lives in some other constellation or some other dimension, and that may be very true for many twin flames as well. But at the same time, it's not about going back to that place, or it's not about finding that family. They must be my mother and my father and my siblings and all of that there. Sometimes when we are seeking the same repetition of the family, in other dimensions or in other people, or in spiritual mentors or something like that, we are in for a very big blow, because we are not meant to find our belonging outside of us. The belonging is within, in our hearts. At all points of times, we have the opportunity to connect with the divine within, in our silence and in our stillness, in our turning inward. That's the ultimate belonging that holds us. External structures, even of higher dimensions, have to be they will not serve you. Even of spiritual dimensions or very spiritual people, you know, sitting on a high horse and guiding you back to some truth or something like that, even that has to be rejected in the end. So only take what resonates. Keep walking out of the matrix by understanding where is the matrix controlling me, where am I still seeking external belonging, where am I still seeking external validation, including with AI, including with YouTube videos or YouTube teachers, including me, including anything and anybody else. Twin flames must walk in sovereignty, especially the feminine energy is extremely sovereign in her nature, in her way of being. The divine feminine truly is, you know, that sovereignty is not just a sovereignty in her twin flame connection, it's at all levels that then percolates into her twin flame connection. Okay, all of your life is spiritual. There is no distinction between twin flame is spiritual and my rest of my life can be normal, egoic. That doesn't work. I hope this is supportive. If you wish to work one-on-one with me, we go very deep in these sessions. We do some deep healing work. I guide you intuitively, and we do work with some blocks, shadows, etc., that are present that may be affecting areas of your life where you don't even know how they're affecting. Also, if you've had difficult childhoods and all that trauma seems to be coming up for you, then you can definitely work one-on-one with me. If you feel receptive, open, and guided to do this, email me to book a session, and also click on the second link to see how my Patreon page works. I post regularly on my Patreon page. Videos go very deep. They are deep dives, you know, deep explorations of the spiritual awakening path for twin flames. And I'm sending you a lot of love.